Hi, you're joining me from the ballroom today at Glenfell House. This is our episode 7 of our questions of the week, which means we've nearly made it 2 whole months. So yeah, if you're still watching, thanks. And obviously, as always, if you've got any questions or anything you'd like us to answer, send them over. So we've got 5 questions this week for you, which I think might be our first time we've ever actually had 5. So I'm still going to do my best to not waffle, but forgive me if I do in advance. I'm going to get straight in. So number 1, can our suppliers come to have a look around before the big day? Yes, is the short answer to that. But to elaborate, of course they can. We really want them to come actually, as well as the fact that we recommend some suppliers that we work with. You're obviously going to find your own suppliers naturally, whether it's your party or your wedding. So bring them as often as you want to. As long as we don't have an event on, because we're exclusive use, they can come, they can book an appointment with us, we can show them around the venue. We find this is particularly useful for photographers, especially if they've not been here before, then we can show them all the nice little hidey places so they know exactly where they're heading before the big day or before the party. So yeah, just check with us that there's no event on. You can check our online availability calendar, and obviously if you want to meet with any of the event coordinators, it's always best to book it in, but they can come as often as they would like. Question 2, can you cater for all our food allergies or preferences? So this is a nice easy one. So Glenfell House works with external caterers. So the caterers aren't actually part of Glenfell. Now we do recommend some of our external caterers that we know are brilliant. They shouldn't have any issues catering for anything. So if it's an allergy, if it's an intolerance, if it's sort of gluten, dairy, wheat, vegan, celiac, anything at all like that, as long as we know in advance, it's not an issue. So the reason for that is obviously food ordering, but once you have your menu tastings or anything like that, you can discuss any allergies with them then. And then usually what we do is a week before your event, we ask you for a final definitive list of any allergies, any preferences or anything like that that's coming along, so we can make sure that they're catered for. So we have to just know in advance. Now, if any of our guests are staying overnight here with us at Glenfell, then we do an internal breakfast as well. And again, likewise, as long as we know in advance, we can do anything here. So we've got vegan options, we've got vegetarian alternatives. It's not a problem. So we had a lovely couple recently that are dairy intolerant. So we've done a special hamper for the dairy intolerant. So yeah, not a problem. Anything at all, just as long as we know. Likewise, when anyone's staying overnight, if there's any sort of allergies to any of the bedding, so our bedding here is duck down and the goose down bedding, but we do have the micro hypoallergenic duvet. Someone is about to... No, they've gone. Yeah, they're here. We're not recording. We're going to carry on. So yeah, as long as we know in advance, again, we can get all the bedding changed and the pillows changed for you, so that that's nice and comfortable. So if there's anything at all, just always let us know in advance, and we can be prepared for it. It's not a problem. And likewise with the external caterers, and it kind of leads us on to our next question a little bit. It's a loose connection. It's both bedroom related ish. What rooms can fit a Z bed in? This is a really good question, because not all of them can. So all the ones in our main house predominantly can fit a Z bed in. If you're not sure what a Z bed in, it's a little pop-up bed, has a mattress, and it can sleep a child up to the age of 14. So yeah, most of the bedrooms in the main house, so apart from Holder, which is the smallest suite we have in the main house, and Mackay, they're the only 2 main house bedrooms that you can't fit a Z bed in, or a travel cot, anything like that. Now, all the other bedrooms in the main house are not a problem at all. And going over to our coach house accommodation, it's the opposite. So we actually only have 2 rooms over in the coach house that can accommodate it. It's fire regulations, unfortunately, it's not us. It's making sure the room's big enough and safety and everything like that to get around it. So over in the coach house, you've got our Juice and Suite, which obviously has a separate living room altogether, so that can fit it in. Or you have our Robinson bedrooms. So they're the only 2 bedrooms that you can fit it in over in the coach house. What we do is whenever we're sending out accommodation, if it's the event coordinator, say it's the bride and groom, it's the party planner, it's the corporate who's taking the bookings, we send them an accommodation list, and it says it all on the list exactly which room Z beds can go in, and likewise travel cots. So we have 1 travel cot here at Glenfell, and we have 6 Z beds. So if you want to hire them off us, that's not a problem. The Z beds you can hire for £30. And that just includes the bed linen and obviously breakfast for the additional guest. There is another option if you want to bring your own blow-up bed with your own bed linen, you know, anything like that, you're more than welcome to, and that's no charge. Obviously, only if they want breakfast, there's just the charge to cover the breakfast cost the day after. So that felt like a little bit of a waffle about accommodation and beds, but hopefully we get the point. This is a fun question. So this is if I don't want to go for the traditional Prosecco, what other options are there? I mean, I'm personally a Prosecco fan, but you know, not everyone wants Prosecco. So this is entirely up to yourself. If you want to go to the classic champagne, there's champagne options. If you fancy something a little different, maybe you're having a summer wedding, or maybe you're not having a summer wedding. A summer wedding, you might want cocktails. So we have our own in-house cocktails that we've worked on. So we do the Glenful House cocktail, which is like fruity punch and things like that. So you can have your own cocktails. You can make his and hers ones. Other alternatives, obviously we can do tea and coffee. We can do schlurf for the non-drinkers. You can do a gin bar if you fancy a gin bar. So really, whatever you like to drink. We've got a trough that we can put for outside weddings as well, and we can fill that with beers and things like that. Or if it's a winter wedding, you can do mulled cider, mulled wine. So really, hot chocolate. I love a hot chocolate bar. I'm just listing drinks off now. Basically, if you don't want Prosecco, there's lots of other options. You let us know what your favourite drink is or what you fancy, and then we can just go from there and make sure that it's all there for you. Last question, number 5. I'm only 6 minutes in, so we're doing well. Should I have a receiving line? Now, if you're not familiar with a receiving line, this is a very wedding-related question. I'm sure you could have them for other events as well, but a receiving line is quite a traditional tradition of when the bride, the groom and the immediate wedding party all stand literally in a line, and they say hi and hello and greet every guest that's come to the wedding. It usually happens just before you sit down for the wedding breakfast. Also could be super confusing, basically the meal after your wedding, whenever you're going to sit down next. And yeah, you line up and people take it in turns and they come through the receiving line and you get to say hi to everyone. Now, pros and cons of a receiving line, because I've kind of touched on the pros a little bit, is you get to say hi to everybody. So it's a really nice way of ensuring that you, your husband, your wife, whoever, everybody has spoke to every guest that you have there. So this is a guaranteed way to do that. Obviously, another pro is you can thank them. You can thank them for coming. You don't realise weddings are really busy days, so you may not actually get to speak to everyone who's at your wedding, especially if you're on a larger scale, sort of 80 to 120. It's really hard to get to chat to everybody, so this just guarantees it, and that's really the main pro of a receiving line. There is some cons, as you can imagine. If you're talking to 60, 70, 80, 100, 110 guests, that takes some time. So, and then if they're not just talking to you, but they're talking to 6 people, say yourselves and 2 sets of parents or bridal party, anything like that, they're really long actually. So I personally always say you're not looking at a receiving line taking less than about 40 minutes. In hand with that, if you're the first person in the line, so if you're the first person because you're really hungry and you're like, yes, I'm going to go and say hi to everyone and congratulate them, you're then sat for probably 35, if I'm being generous, to 45 minutes waiting for everybody else to come into the ballroom or wherever you are. So con is you get a hungry guest sat at the table kind of thinking, oh, I'm really hungry now, when's food coming? They take a lot of time. And then obviously another con is because of the time restrictions, you may say, right, we've got 2 minutes with each person, which you can still add up, but then it feels quite impersonal. You're not actually relaxing, having a conversation with them. You're going, hi, nice to see you, thanks for coming, yeah, bye. So there's pros and cons. They're quite an old tradition. We don't have them that often here at Glenful anymore. I think there's other ways now that you can make sure you speak to people. So my favourite one, and probably the most popular one, is what I like to call the top table dash, which is basically the top table, you will always get served your food first because you're the important ones. Now everyone's important, but you get your food served first, which means you've probably finished your dessert before everybody else has finished. So what I always say is that's the perfect opportunity then for everybody on that top table to get up and actually walk around the room, walk around your guests, go up to each table. You may have 6, 7 tables. So already you're not eating into any more of the wedding day time. You're still using time that's allocated while other guests are still finishing off their meals. And you can start with the guests that are finished. So you may go to table 2 next because chances are they're nearly finished and you're not going to be talking to people that are eating still. So that's something else that we say. Another option is obviously you can always have a post-wedding party. Have a 2-day wedding, go crazy, book the venue for the day after and then have everybody come the day after for a big barbecue and you can speak to them all then. Or likewise do it before, have an engagement party so you can speak to everybody who's going to come. So engagement parties are usually done quite early in the process, but if you wait and have a party, say, a month, 2 months before your wedding, then you know who's coming and you can speak to them all then. So there's a few different options. I think the top table dash is the most popular one and just a really nice alternative way, and it kind of takes some of the formalities out of the hi, I'm still will talk to you, and it means that nobody gets hungry and your food doesn't get burnt if your receiving line takes a little bit longer. So that was our 5 questions for today. They had a special guest appearance from Chris, our maintenance man, and then he strategically tried to walk that way around the camera, but we got a mirror. We all saw his head float past. But yeah, that's Chris interrupting it, but obviously he didn't know we were filming. So episode 7, done. Next week is our 2-month anniversary, episode 8, so we do hope you'll tune back in. And obviously any questions, anything at all, I have enough for 10 minutes and 37 seconds, so I've got to go. Bye.